Hey guys, hopefully you can hear me on this mic. Not a great mic, but let's get started here. Okay, guys. So, welcome back to my weekly week in the life of a surplus stock trader. How are you all doing? Hope you've had a good week. Been a great week over here. Things are starting to really pick up. Now we're at the back end of the holidays. And you know, July has been really bad. And you know, a lot of August was bad. Then suddenly this week, we put a few deals together. One of them was with one of my students, actually, and one of them I did as well. And it made these were two good back-to-back deals, totaling, believe it or not, totaling around 38,000 pounds profit, not sales, not turnover, actual profit, guys. So yeah, and one of my students messaged me this week, and he did a great deal, just under £1,200. I'm going to talk about this deal that one of my students did this week, and it was using one of my methods that I teach inside one of my trainings, and it's very much about a specific type of buyer that will buy surplus deals. And here's the thing: he found a stock of some like health bars. They were like you know, all these health bars you can buy in the shops, in the supermarkets. It was like a health type bar anyway, and he did a deal on those. This was a deal that he actually bought and sold. He sourced the goods and he flipped that deal himself. He didn't connect the buyer and the seller to make a finder's fee. He actually found a buyer himself and literally just flipped that deal straight onto the buyer and made 100% of the profit. And he made about £1,200 on this deal. But here's the cool thing about how he did it. And what you find in this business is that when we find surplus deals, like, the bottom price that you are normally going to sell for is if you are selling to people in the surplus business, in the clearance business, you know, surplus discount retailers, discount wholesalers, people, or, you know, surplus stock traders, people who are already in the surplus business. They are going to pay like the lowest prices for stock. So one of my methods that I teach is when we find surplus stock, instead of offering that deal into the surplus market, into the discount market, like, you know, discount shops that you see on the high street, or discount wholesalers, or, you know, surplus stock traders and clearance brokers, and anyone like in that market, anyone in the discount surplus market, instead of offering it to those types of businesses where you're going to get like you're going to get like the lowest price, instead of offering it to them, what he did was he actually found an online retailer who is in the health well-being industry. Okay, so people, they are just specialize in selling health products, well-being products, and all that type of thing. So that's their market that they specialize in. They're not in the discount industry. selling discount goods like, pound shops. They're not in that market. They are just a, health and well-being type e-commerce store online, and they sell regular products, health products, well-being products, anything to do with health and well-being products they sell. So they're not in the surplus business, they're not in the discount business. So what he's done there is he's literally approached them and said, look, I've got a deal here on some health bars. I see that you have an online shop selling health related products. I've got a good deal here that you could buy and make some good money on. So what he's done there is just approached a business who they're not in the discount industry. They're just in their own industry selling health related products. They probably sell all the different types of health bars, like grenade bars and all those types of health bars. And he's just offered them a deal. They are not in the business of buying surplus. But what he's done is, and this is what I'm teaching, is that, everyday businesses who don't buy surplus goods, they could be in the market for buying a surplus deal if it's a deal that is a product that's related to what they're already selling out of their online store or out of their physical store or wholesale or, wherever. If they are in their own market, their own industry, they specialize in their own industry, they're not specifically looking for clearance stock or surplus goods, but they just need kind of educating. It's like, I can see that you sell all these types of products. I've got a deal here that is related to the type of stuff that you already sell. You've got a customer base who buy from your online store. And so what they've done, they've said to him, yeah, okay, yeah, we're interested actually. That looks like, the type of product that we already sell. We already sell health bars. But obviously they're selling health bars at regular, everyday retail prices. They're not selling them at like highly discounted prices like you'd find in a pound store. So he's offered them this stock of health bars and at a highly discounted price, and they've looked at it and gone, wow, that's cheap. That looks like a good deal. Yeah, we could sell that from our online retail store and, make some good profit from that. Maybe work it into a special offer or a bundle or, so they basically did a deal with Alex, my student, and they bought the goods off him. They're not a surplus buyer. They're not a discount buyer. They're not a clearance type of buyer, but they're just in their own industry. It's like, for example, if I found, let's think, if I found some, let's say I found some headphones. Okay, let's say I found a surplus deal of some headphones from an importer. An importer that brought in a load of headphones, and a quantity of them have become slow moving or obsolete or end of line or whatever. I could offer those headphones to a company online that are in that market. They sell headphones, they sell earphones, they sell audio related goods. They're in their own market selling these goods at regular retail prices. They are just specialized in their own niche. Okay, they already sell headphones, but they're not a clearance buyer. They're not a discount store. They're not a broker who's looking for a clearance deal to flip on. It's just a regular, everyday business who are in their own market selling headphones, audio-related products. I could approach them with a deal, and I could say, "Well, I've got 500 of these wireless headphones, highly discounted price. And yeah, I noticed that you've got an online retail store selling headphones, and you already sell headphones. You're in that market. You've got your own customer base who buy from you. I can see you can see that they're a big online retailer. I've got a deal here. Would you be interested? And then I would email them the details. And I do this all the time, guys, with all sorts of stock. I've done it with, like window blinds, curtains, sports products, food products, homeware products, garden related products, packaging products, disposable packaging. This is what I'm talking about. People who, let me just give you another example here. One sec. Like these here, if I was offered like some padded envelopes, instead of just clearing them at a highly discounted price to maybe another surplus trader or a discount store, I could go online and find maybe an online retailer who sells these regularly. They're just a regular seller of, packaging, padded envelopes. I could go onto eBay and find some eBay stores who are selling padded envelopes. And I could say, oh, see, you're selling padded envelopes, regular, ongoing. Okay, that maybe they probably import from China or wherever. I've got a deal here. These are cheaper than China. These are cheaper than factory prices. It's a one-off deal. It's a spot deal. One-off deal. I've got 10,000 of them. Okay, it's a one-off deal, clearance deal that I'm looking to sell off. And I can offer it to you at under factory prices. And here's where it gets interesting for a buyer. Okay, when you approach these buyers, when you tell them, there's sirens going off, when you tell them that you've got a deal that's cheaper than China, cheaper than the regular factory price, say this costs, I don't know, say a padded envelope costs 30 pence, 30, 40 pence, landed in the UK from China, from a China factory, and we're offering it to them at 20 pence. Okay, they know it's a good deal because they know. Okay, these guys know because they are in that market. They're in that industry. They know what these things cost. They know what it costs to import because they probably already import them from the factory. But if we approach them with a one-off, highly discounted deal, and they're not a typical, discount store, they're not a typical, clearance company or surplus company. They are just a regular company. They just specialize in selling packaging, mailing packaging. That's their business. They're selling at regular prices. If we approach them and say, look, we've got a deal here. It's a one-off deal, never to be bought again at that price. It's a one-off deal. Okay. It's cheaper than factory prices because that's the nature of the business we're in. When we buy deals from businesses, they are always losing money, and it's not a good deal. If they're not losing money, who we're buying from, then it's not a good deal. It's not a true clearance deal. It's not a true clearance deal. Does that make sense? So these deals that we are finding, that I'm teaching my students to go find, these are all one-off deals. They're one-off. When they're gone, they're gone. Okay. But the great thing about these one-off deals is they are the highly discounted deals. They are cheaper than what I could go to the factories in China to buy them for. And that's what makes it a great deal for a buyer. So when you are approaching just a regular buyer, who is in that industry, they you know, these guys buy these containers and containers of them from wherever. You know, they might buy them from an importer in the UK, but they might buy them directly from a factory in Europe or in China or wherever. But if we are if we are finding these one-off surplus deals that are way under China factory prices, and we offer it to them at a price, and we know it's cheaper than the regular factory prices, we know their ears are gonna prick up, and they're gonna go, wow, that's a good deal. That's a cheap deal. Yeah, I could be interested actually. And so this is what Alex did this week. He did it on some health bars. Found a deal. He got it. You know, he offered them a cheap price, knowing that it was going to be, you know, way cheaper than what they cost to be manufactured. And then he approached this just regular online retail store, you know, that sell health foods, health products, anything health and well-being related products. So he knew that they are specialists in that market. They already sell that type of product. So he's approached this online retail store. He said, I've got a one-off deal on these health bars. Here's a price. And he knew that they'd be interested because it's obviously cheaper than what they would normally buy them for, because it's a one-off deal, one-off clearance deal. So he did a deal with them, and he made to just under £1,200. Boom, like that. One deal, £1,200 profit. Okay. Now this week I've made, and I'm gonna do, obviously go into more detail in this, but I'm gonna do it first inside my surplus traders community, which I will put a link in the comments after the video, for you to come in if you want to learn this business of brokering pallets of goods, all right, without any money down, without physically handling any goods. And you can do it all remotely from home, from a computer. So guys, I've actually done two big back-to-back deals this week. One of them was a big stock of sports clothing, sports-related clothing. It's taken a while, but we made £18,000 profit on that deal. And one of my students found that deal as well. So he's going to be getting like around £6,000 finder's fee on that. At the minute, it's just going through. The first truckload has been collected, but there's another 4 truckloads. But there's a bit more work involved, not on my side, but on the seller's side, because they've got to create a packing list. A pallet packing list, which means they've got to put a list together of exactly what's on each pallet, in each box, on each pallet, and you know, there's a lot of sort of work involved. 18 grand, guys. All right, and we've done it all without even physically seeing those goods, without handling those goods, without touching them. We're not even involved in the transport of those goods. And you know, we've just done it all as the middlemen between the buyer and the seller, and obviously my buyer is paying up front for each truckload before he collects them as well. So that was that one. And then I did a deal on some air purifiers, air purifier machines. Now the story with this one is that it's actually a big American company who they wanted to break into the UK with this range of air purifier machines, and it didn't go so well. And basically, they've got a load of stock. You're talking like 300 pallets of this stock, and it's costing them £25,000 per month in storage costs. And that's one of the big reasons why some companies want to clear a load of stock, is because they've got this high storage costs that's, you know, like draining their bank account. You know, it's hitting them hard in the pocket. So this American company, they just want out. They just want out of the UK. They want to just clear that stock. I'm dealing with a guy who is like a sort of a UK distributor of these products, and he just wants rid of them. He wants to keep hold of the filters, which are the consumables that people reorder. But the actual machines, we are doing a deal on. And I've sold them on to a wholesaler who actually have some online retail stores as well. And I just got offered a price from them for them all. And I just went back to the seller and offered them a price. And it clears 20 grand profit, guys. And again, I don't have to, I've not even seen the goods physically. I've not touched them. I'm not going to be getting involved in the transport. My buyer's going to be collecting the goods. So, you know, it's a brilliant, brilliant deal. Brilliant deal, considering I don't have to invest any money. You're talking over you're talking well over £100,000 worth of stock that I will be invoicing out, and I'll be invoiced, just over 100 grand for that stock. But I don't need to go and find 100 grand. I don't need to go find that because all I'm doing is I'm just getting paid up front from my buyer, and I'm going to be using my buyer's money to pay for the goods. How cool is that? How cool is that you can do that in this industry? Whether it's one pallet of goods for a few £100 or 300 pallets, which is like, how many truckloads is that? 300 pallets, it's about it's about 11 to 12 truckloads of goods, and it doesn't matter if you are new to this business and you find a big stock like that and you're thinking, how can I buy and sell a deal that size? I haven't got the money. I can't afford to pay for, all that stock, over £100,000 worth of stock. It's impossible. It is possible, guys. It is. It doesn't matter what size deal it is. It doesn't matter if it's a couple of pallets of stock or 10, 11, 12 or more truckloads of stock. It does not matter, because we are getting involved in these deals where the payment terms are payment up front. Okay, they're getting a good deal. The buyer knows they are getting a very, very good, cheap deal. Okay, they're getting a great, great deal. They're going to make a lot of money from that deal. And if they want that deal cheap, if they want a great deal cheap, they have got to pay up front. That's it. Even if it's one truck at a time, which is fine. They can pay for a truckload and then load the truck and then take the truck away, and then come back, pay for another truckload, load the truck, and take the truck away. They can keep doing that if they want. All right, that's fine. As long as it's payment up front or payment before loading, or if we had to deliver the goods, payment before delivery. So they're the three payment terms that we use with our buyers. Okay, but most of the time, 99% of the time, it's just payment up front before you collect the goods. That's it. That's it. Simple. You pay up front in full before you collect the goods. So now we've got their payment in our bank. Now we're going to use their money to pay for the goods. So that's what I'm saying. It doesn't matter. This is probably one of the rare few businesses where you are not limited to what size deal you can do. Even if you're a complete beginner, you can, even if you're a complete beginner, you can move many, many truckloads of goods without having to use any of your own money, even if you haven't got the money. Okay, there's ways and means of doing these deals. I know people do it with property as well. You know, I've heard about no money down property deals. That works actually differently, because that's more where you find an investor who will basically invest the money on your behalf. You basically invest the money and give you a cut out of it, like a finder's fee or whatever. So yeah, the way no money down property deals are done are slightly different. You know, we're dealing in goods, physical goods. But I've always done this, guys. I've always done all, 100% of my, I would say 99.9% of the deals that I do, that I, source and flip, I never use any of my money. I never risk any of my own money. I never put any of my own money down. Occasionally, I'll do payment on delivery, but I'll just do those terms with the seller. I'll say, look, you deliver the goods. Once I've unloaded and checked the goods and it's all okay, and, the quantity's correct and it's all perfect and clean and tidy, and I'll send you the money. Fine, no problem. But another way as well to do these deals, where you can do any size deal, is by just working on a finder's fees basis, where you are just simply, I don't know why it's flashing like that. The screen's flashing my side. I don't know if it's flashing your side, but another way of doing it without having to put any of your own money in on deals is just simply being a finder and just find deals and introduce those deals to buyers. So Alex, with that deal on the health bars, he could have done it another way, where he could have just introduced that deal to that buyer that he found, meaning he's just going to connect the buyer with the seller of the goods. And as the middleman, he's just going to take a percentage of the profit. He's just going to take a slice of the profit in the middle. He's going to say to the buyer, look, this is the deal. I'm going to introduce you directly to the seller. You do the deal with him, and I will take a finder's fee. That's it. He'll just take a cut. So this is what I do inside my program. When students find deals that I teach them to go find, they bring me a deal, and if I do that deal, I pay them 33% of the profit. Like Pamir, who found that big lot of sports clothing, he was going to get like $6,000 out of it, around that, 5 to 6 grand, and so he's just basically hands off on that deal. He's not having to buy anything or sell anything. He's not having to negotiate any prices. He's not having to handle any goods. He's not having to get involved in any paperwork or logistics. He's literally just found that deal. That's all he's done. And how's he done that? He's just literally emailed some companies and found that deal. He's just emailed a load of companies in the sports industry, and he got offered that stock on email. And that's all he did. And then he just forwarded that email to me. And I looked at the offer and I said, right, leave it with me. You sit back. I'll go and find a buyer for those goods, and we'll negotiate a deal on those goods. I know there's some questions coming through. I'll come to those shortly. So yeah, so I would say, for anyone that's like new to this business, a great and the most easy and simple way, what I call a great sort of low barrier to entry way of coming into this business, is just literally learn to find these surplus deals. just if you get good at that one thing, and I explained this last Friday. If I had to say, if I had to give like my advice on the one thing, number one thing to get good at in this business, okay, that is just finding deals, because the money is in finding the deals. Okay, the money is in finding the deal. Obviously, there's more money in buying, sourcing and buying and selling them, but that's obviously there's a lot more involved if you're going to do that whole deal yourself. Sourcing those goods, finding those goods and buying and selling those goods yourself and flipping them on, because obviously then, although you're making 100% of the profit, which is brilliant, there's more work involved. You're gonna be getting involved in all the communication with the seller and with the buyer. You're going to be getting involved in the paperwork and the organization of that deal. There's a lot more involved, and that's in my higher ticket program, okay, which obviously is a lot more money to come into. But if you wanted to just learn to find surplus deals that you can bring to me, that I can show to my network of buyer contacts, and you can just keep getting 33% of the profit on these deals that you find, then come into my surplus traders community at $97 a month. What's that in English money? £75. £75 a month. Like if I could get you to the stage where you're making £500 to £1,000 a week in finder's fees for £75 monthly subscription, and you're not having and I'm doing most of the work on that deal, you're just finding those deals and then bringing those deals to me to find buyers for. Would you take that offer? Of course you would, because it's a no-brainer. It's an absolute no-brainer. I'll put the link in the comments and you can have a look and come in and start learning the skill. It's a high-value skill of finding deals, and there's so many great easy time-effective ways to find surplus deals. Like for 1 hour a day, you can execute certain things and start getting offered surplus deals from lots of everyday businesses, like online, across any industry, any size deal. All right, a few pallets up to many truckloads. Doesn't matter, because you're not having to invest your own money in those deals. So let's take a look. Perry, how you doing, my friend? Been looking at your content for the past couple of days, Matt. Great content. Keep it up. Oh, cheers, man. Thank you very much. And Paul's here. How you doing, my friend? And Perry again says the business model works anywhere all over the world. I mean, yeah. Like here's the mad thing. Like that deal I was talking about that made 18 grand. One of my students, Pamir, who found that deal. Okay, here's the mad thing. He's in India. Okay, that's where he's based. He's based in India, doing it all online. What I teach. He found that deal in the UK. It was a big UK e-commerce store that specializes in selling sports merchandise. So he's in India, and he's just found that deal from a UK company. So you can literally be based anywhere, and you could find, you could be based the other side of the world, but find surplus deals in the UK or Europe, So because it's all online based, think about it. It doesn't matter where you are in the world. You can be anywhere in the world and find deals, because at the end of the day, all you're doing is you're reaching out to businesses online. Why would it matter where you're based? It doesn't matter at all. At the end of the day, you are just you're just someone who is reaching out to businesses online and asking them, like, if they've got any surplus goods that they want to get rid of. Obviously, there's there's a professional way of doing this, which I teach. If you're going to get involved in this business, there's one thing that's important, and that is to look professional instead of amateur, because there's too many amateur people in this business, lots and lots. I would say there's probably 90% of the people in this business are just amateur. They don't know what they're doing. They do it in a way that makes them look unprofessional. It makes them look it doesn't make them look legit. But the way I do it and the way I teach it is, when you approach companies, okay, you look professional, you look like an expert, okay, and you look like you know what you're talking about. And there's ways that I teach to do this. Paul says, can you make finder's fees with clients from around the world? Yeah, of course you can. I mean, I personally don't teach. I've made finder's fees from people in America, right from people across Europe and the UK. I don't teach to find stock from Asian countries like China or India, Pakistan, Bangladesh, all those types of countries. It doesn't work. There's a reason why, and I won't go into detail, but it just doesn't work for us in our industry, okay? It just does not work. It works in the USA, it works in Canada, it'll work in the Middle East, it'll work anywhere across Europe and Eastern Europe, and it'll work in the UK. So, how many businesses are there across all those regions in the world? Millions and millions. So, we're just touching the tip of the iceberg, really. When it comes to finding stock and finding buyers. Maybe I'm not informed enough. Why it seems like so little people know about this finder's fees things. I mean, Jim Straw. Yeah, Jim Straw. He did it. He taught it. I mean, think about it. You'll probably find no one who has taught this since Jim Straw. And the thing is with Jim Straw is that all his methods are all old and outdated, because he taught the finder's fees method before the internet. And so what I've done is I've in the early 90s, just as the internet was starting, I started to develop ways of making finder's fees. And since, I've just started creating new modern ways of making finder's fees that are basically all online based. Because Jim Straw used to, because I've read his book, and he used to say, type up a letter with a typewriter and then post a letter to this company and ask them if they've got any of this products that they want to get rid of, because you've got a buyer looking for it. And keep an index box full of your contacts. I used to keep an index box, and I used to be on the phone all day. The methods that I teach now, there's no phone calls. We don't make any phone calls. We don't phone any companies to ask them if they've got any stock. We just simply email them, or we reach out to people on LinkedIn. Years ago when I first started, I had telephone directories. I was phoning companies out of telephone directories. And yeah, you're right, Perry. It's very under the radar still. Not the finder's fees concept. The finder's fees concept is very common, but not in this industry. It's not common in this industry, in the surplus industry. It's more common in property, land, investments, recruitment. You see it online, supermarkets they're looking for a new location. Bring them details of a location, and they'll pay you a finder's fee. if they take that location, or an investor is looking for some property or land in a certain town or city. If you find some property or land that they're interested in and they end up buying, they'll pay you a finder's fee. Or in recruitment, you know, we're looking to headhunt someone who, you know, this kind of person. If you find that kind of person and introduce them to us, we will pay you a finder's fee. So finder's fees are common in a lot of industries. I teach this bit in that training that I do, the 7 steps to making finder's fees. But yeah, the finder's fees concept is common. It's a common thing, earning finder's fees, where you're just simply introducing people to each other and making a finder's fee. Like Jim Straw wasn't specifically all about the surplus industry. He was sort of he was kind of about like any type of goods, really. You know, he was like any kind of goods that, you know, a buyer is looking for those types of goods. Can you go find them? It didn't have to be surplus goods or clearance goods. That's what I'm saying. But all I've done is I've built these methods around my industry, the surplus industry. And actually, there's not many people doing it. And there's certainly no one teaching it apart from me. No one at all. Perry says, the first time I heard about this business model, I thought people can just buy from China. And of course, Jim's Materials didn't talk about Alibaba. Yeah, but you see, the thing is with China is that you're buying at regular factory prices. The concept that I teach is that I could find a load of headphones from a company, whether they're a manufacturer or importer or distributor, but they have a headache with those goods. They're surplus, the slow moving, end of line, excess, maybe a cancelled order. You know, lots of different reasons. Maybe they've got some stock that they bought too many of and it's taking up too much warehouse space. Different reasons. And so it's a one-off deal that they're offering because they just want to clear it. They want to get rid of it. And it's cheaper than China. So these deals that we find are cheaper than China, highly discounted deals. That's what makes this industry so good, because these deals that we find, they're highly discounted one-off deals. And we've got hungry buyers looking for cheap deals. You know, we've got buyers are looking for deals and to save money or to make more profit on deals. Then it all makes more sense to my small brain. You haven't got a small brain, my friend. The fact that you are here, you're one of the 1%, all right, that's taking action and, is, wanting to better themselves and, make more money for themselves. So you haven't got a small brain. You are one of the very few that actually takes the time to watch this instead of sat looking at rubbish on TikTok or watching Netflix or sitting in the pub or whatever. You're certainly not one of those. Can you use online platforms like Alibaba, eWorld Trade, and other B2B to find finders fees opportunities? I haven't done. Probably there might be, but I would probably not do that because there's way better ways that I teach. Like Alibaba, for example, obviously mainly China companies. They're either the factories that advertise products on there or middlemen who advertise products on there. So you've got the direct factory, and then you've got a lot of middlemen who basically are advertising products on Alibaba. and, you know, selling products, but they are probably direct with the factory, and they're taking their cut. But it's all regular products on there. It's not surplus deals. You know, it's just regular products. That's the problem. Why I'm saying that we never look for goods from China or, you know, all those Far Eastern countries or India, Pakistan, Bangladesh. When they, you know, I get driven mad by all these guys from, and it's no disrespect to them at all. They're trying to make money. But I get driven mad from all these in my messenger on LinkedIn all the time, offering me goods. And they say that it's surplus goods, but it's not. It's not surplus goods. It's just regular goods. They're saying they're saying they've got a surplus deal, but the prices are just regular factory prices. Okay, it's not a clearance deal. And when I always just offer them like a low price just to see what reaction I get. And they say, oh, no, we can't go that low. I says, well, it's not a clearance deal then. Okay. Because like a clearance deal needs to be like under half the original factory price. It just does. Okay. So like I say, if that was 30 pence from the factory, you know, we'd be offering way under half what the factory price is. That's what makes it a true clearance deal. Does that make sense? So no, we don't use those platforms. There's lots of great ways to find surplus without using these trade websites, you know, like Alibaba, eWorld Trade, and like a lot of these other B2B websites. For me, the best B2B website to find surplus is LinkedIn, because you're dealing with people in companies in specific job positions, and, you know, across lots of different industries and product categories. It's like a gold mine on LinkedIn, and I teach some great methods to find surplus on LinkedIn. Just to be clear, there's almost no difference between referral fee and finder's fee. No, I mean, yeah, a finder's fee is basically referring someone to someone else. So it's the same. So you're referring, yeah, it's the same. I would say it's the same thing, isn't it? You know, I just call it a finder's fee because you found that deal. So it's a finder's fee for finding that deal. Okay, so that I call it a finder's fee. Any more? I like your content, Matt. I'm learning from your videos. Keep up the good work. Thank you very much. No, I've seen you around, Paul, for quite a long time. I know I see you on LinkedIn. I see you on Facebook. I see you around. Not even sure what you do, like, for a living. If you do a job, you know, what kind of money you make. Do you already buy and sell? I don't know. I always ask the question to people, like, I can see you're interested. What is stopping you from not taking action and, you know, really coming into this business and learning it properly? What is stopping you? And, you know, that's why I made my the new platform that I got, because I used to sell the finder's fees course for $2,000. Okay, it was a $2,000 course, but I wanted to make it more affordable, so I just basically turned it into just a monthly subscription of $97 a month. So you come into my platform on School. It's skool.com, skool.com. I'll drop the link in the comments. And you come in and then you learn the course in there. It's a video course, step-by-step video tutorials that I've made. And so you follow the course, and as you start following the course, you start implementing the things that I'm teaching, where you reach the point of receiving some surplus offers from some companies. So what I'm teaching you what to do to reach that point where you start receiving surplus offers, and then you start building a pipeline of deals, and then you start getting more and more surplus offers coming because you're building a network of contacts. And the secret to this game, which I mentioned last week, one of the big secrets is to build a network of contacts. And that's the easiest part these days, building a network, because it's free. You can build a network of contacts. I can build a network of contacts that sell headphones. I can build a network of contacts that sell eyewear. I can build a network of contacts that sell vapes, or anything, any product you can think of. You can build a network of businesses, of contacts that sell that specific type of product. So all you're basically doing, it's almost like, think of it as like, like a dating agency, like a dating agency. You've got like the matchmaking, aren't they? They're matching up people. They're matching up one person with another person. Well, that's in effect what we're doing with deals that we find. We're matching up a seller of those goods that we found with a buyer who is, looking for those types of goods. So that's the thing. Once you've got your buyer and you know what type of goods they're looking for, if I've got a buyer contact and I know he's actively looking for a good deal on headphones, whenever I get offered some headphones, what do? I've already got my buyer lined up. I've already got him as my contact. I'm halfway there to doing a deal. I know he's in that market. He's looking for headphones. He's looking for deals on headphones. So that's the great thing. So, one of the things I teach is like, it's called the reverse deal, where we actually find a buyer first. We don't find the goods. I mean, Jim Straw, he was teaching something similar, but you can just find buyers first. You could like approach someone and say, are you looking for a deal? Are you looking for cheap deals? And then simply ask the question, what are you looking for? What products are you looking for? Oh, you're looking for cheap laptops. Oh, right, okay. You're looking for cheap padded envelopes. Right, okay. That's good to know. And then all we do is we use our search methods and go find businesses that sell those kind of products. And we keep in contact with them through the year until they have some surplus that they want to get rid of. We know we've already got a buyer that is interested. I've built my business up to the point where if I get offered, say, some surplus toys, if a business offered me like a truckload of toys, I've got a big list of like 150 buyer contacts who are actively looking for a cheap deal on toys. So I'm going to just push that offer straight to them. As soon as I get that offer through, I'm going to be like, here's a deal. Are you interested? It's the same with every niche: cosmetics, makeup, food, drinks, electronic products. The list goes on and on and on and on and on. We are just matchmakers. We're just matching up a deal that we've been offered to a buyer who is looking for a good deal on those types of products that we've just got offered. That's it. We're just matchmakers. And we are simply taking our cut, taking our bit of profit in the middle of the buyer and the seller. And that's it. That's all we're doing. We're just building up a big network of buyers and sellers. All right, guys. So if you want to learn how to do this, I'm now developing like ways of building connections using AI. Some great ways. So it's very time effective. You see, years ago, when I was on the phone all day ringing companies, Think about it. I was on the phone from 9 in the morning till 5 o'clock, ringing companies, trying to get hold of the right person, trying to get past the receptionist, getting passed around from department to department and all that stuff. Now, I just click a button and my, letter, introductory letter introducing myself and what I do goes out to 1,000 businesses. That's it. In minutes. All right. And that's how it works now. Everything is just done. What I call the path of least resistance, where you can make maximum money for a minimum amount of effort, basically. Because, gone are the days where I've been ringing companies all the time and then faxing them a letter through a fax machine. No, I can just blast a load of businesses across one single product that I'm looking for, and introduce myself on email. Or I could connect with a load of people on LinkedIn and introduce myself. So it's all done really fast and easy these days, guys. Let's just have a look. Last few, and then we're going to call it a day for this Friday's session. Would you say LinkedIn is a great site to find? Oh, yeah. I mean, I'm now at that point where, like, I get offered surplus every day from a connection on LinkedIn, either through LinkedIn Messenger or on email, or they'll hit me up on WhatsApp. But every day I'm getting people on LinkedIn offering me deals. How amazing is that? And that's while I sleep, like literally on tap, 24 hours a day, I'm getting offered deals on LinkedIn. And, we just sort through these deals we get offered. Some of them are good, some of them are bad, and some of them are ugly, and, some of them will be winners and some of them won't be. Got it. Thanks for answering. Turning trash into treasure. Yeah, well, exactly. I always say one company's trash is another company's treasure. And that's so true in this business. Like, you get one business that are sitting on a load of stock in their warehouse that they just no longer want. It's no good to them. But there's another business somewhere else that really wants to buy that because it's good for them and they can make money on it. And that's it. That's how it works in this industry. Great stuff, my friend. You explain finance in a simplified way. You're a great teacher. No problem, guys. All right, appreciate that. Obviously, I'll be leaving this video on so you can watch it again. And I will put a link in the comments to my online platform that you can come into for just $97 a month, guys. You can get your money back, 3, 5, 10 times back on one deal. Even if you did one deal a month, you're gonna 10x, 3x, 5x, 10x your monthly investment. So, and at the same time, you're learning a great skill that will pay you back forever, guys. So yeah, hope you enjoyed this week's session, and I will see you again very, very soon, guys. All the best. Have a great weekend.